Cemetery. And back there you'll see the trees that we're going to be taking down within the next couple of weeks. And that side of the cemetery, it's just what this side of the cemetery looked like up until April 21st of 1993. And now, since we've been working on this project for 1 year, we're about ready to get as much done as possible to make it look as good as it should. This cemetery is 200 years old, and it needs to be, what is the word, Sharon? It needs to be given the honor that it should have had all these years. Let's take a walk through this place. Okay, but before we go any further, how about if you just take a picture of this and I can put this back in the car? All right?
Do you want Kenny to come help him?
Kenny, come here, babe. This is a schematic view of all the plots. This is a copy of the original map from 1924 when Mr. Amos Dunkel was trying to sell as many of the plots for as few amount of spaces as he had. This cemetery plot is showing that there is maybe 2 or 3 bodies in each grave, and we're not sure about the exact figures right now, but it can be up to 1,500 bodies in this 3.5 acres of land. Thank you, Kenny. This is Reverend Jacob. I'm trying to figure out how to say this name. This is Wilkeshelm. It's Reverend Jacob Wilkeshelm and his wife Henrietta, and it looks like the brother is over there. There's some really interesting headstones over here. Don't go tripping over those headstones over here.
What's the last name? Can you see, make it out, or Butler?
Sophia Butler. She's the wife of Lewis Butler, born in 1802 and died in 1885. 82 years and 9 months and 28 days.
So she'd be...
Somebody was thinking ahead when they did her slab, because they knew they wouldn't be here to maintain the gravesite. They're very smart people. This is the woods that's going to be cut down on April the 9th and the 10th. Here he's showing up to the top of those trees. Are you able to get the height of those trees in that? This is quite big. And some nice veterans over there. World War I and World War II, and the older grave sites, from what I'm told, is over there. I've seen some, but since there's too much woods and too much poison over there, don't hang out in there.
Well, that makes sense.
Gophers.
And groundhogs flying around here.
Copperhead snake right there. I was going to walk in front of you. Why don't you walk up just a little bit more? Okay. This is Mrs. Lillian Ball. She's one of our older citizens here in Stilton. This is her parents, Edith and her father, John. She has a brother that's up there on the hill. She has also a gravesite for herself when she dies, but unfortunately, Mr. Dunkel sold it to somebody else too at the same time, and whoever died first got the whole. She never got her $12 back. Take a view from here down to the street. And again, you can see the trees from this angle, how tall they are, and what has been done by some fabulous workers that we have in here. How this place will look next year. All right, this grave site is so shallow. Nobody's ever put any dirt on it, obviously, since the time they put the person in this grave. I don't know who's in the grave. Maybe they never came back and put a headstone up here. But from the erosion, the collapsing of the coffin has caused the grave to sink. And no one has filled up the dirt on it. So this is one of the things that we want to go through the entire cemetery with and fill up all the graves and make it nice and leveled off. And they appear to be everywhere. You can look alongside the road because wherever, again, where some of the men could bury their people at is where they just brought their bodies to and never came back. 35 years these trees have been grown, for 35 long years, and no one has been able to get down into the grave area to even give respects to their parents or brothers or sisters or aunts or uncles or whatever, to all the remains that are still here. So after the 9th of May, 1994, they will be able to finally get down that hill and give the respect that is due. So let's move on up this way here. What happened? These people have been, because there was so much of a forest in there, as the people died, they found a place along what they considered the main road in and out of the cemetery. And it just appears that they were putting them anywhere and everywhere. Anywhere near the road, because they didn't want to get really into the middle of the grave, the cemetery, because the cemetery was so loaded with weeds and trees and everything else. This is some of the ministers of our first churches around here, the Reverend Goodwins. I'm not sure if they belong to Goodwin Memorial or which church they actually belong to. Well, here it just says First Baptist Church, pastor of First Baptist Church. He died in 1939. Now, wouldn't that tell you something, that we can maybe get some of these people that belong to First Baptist and have them help to remove the tree leaves from all the many trees that we had up here? It would be wonderful. Some of the people, some of the blacks in this community, for those who could afford it, and I mean they had to really afford it, so they had to have money to afford that. Did I highlight and bold that up good enough? They were able to come in here and remove the remains of their parents or whomever was related to them and take them up and have them reinterred at William Howard Day Cemetery. Which I don't think that was very nice of them, especially since they were the ones doing the burying up here. But they didn't want their people remembered as a part of this here Midland Cemetery. So they had the people come up and remove their parents' remains and take them away. I wish we could go down in there, but I ain't going down in those weeds. If you walk over that way, without falling in one of those holes, we'll be okay here. Just be careful. Rocky road. And if you turn over there to your left, you might take a peek at a couple of headstones that's down in there. What's so long? Because God knows we don't want to do any more work than we have to. Mother Lucille stuffing. This is the upper end of the cemetery. You actually can't see the lower end from this angle.
Oh, okay.
You can find Mr. Blue right there. And he was stuck in between those 3 trees when I first started this project. He's still there, so somehow, some way, besides getting a new shed up here, or a shed that we could use, we need to get a stump grinder in here. So this is all the veterans right here that's lined up. All of them. Well, not all of them, I should say, because they're all throughout the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Really neat, unique headstones and markers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Really
Definitely.
nice. But we can never get them all done. The conservationists mentioned that they might be able to come in and help me do some more repairs to the markers,
Oh, great.
you know, which would be wonderful. Then I can start working with the Veterans Administration in Washington. They said they will be helping me to get some of the headstones replaced or cleaned up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Am I
That'd
walking
be
too
great.
fast
No.
for you?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what that is. That's like an urn over there. It's broken pottery. And I think that they were trying to make it so that there would be a flower growing out of it. It's part of a headstone of some sort, from what I can tell. I'm not sure.
That's interesting.
It surely is different. I gotta get all this cleaned up. So there we go. 3.5 acres of half done, half not done. And it will look good one day.
Nope.
You're okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Come over earlier today.
I'll try.
Did you get robust?
Yo, look at that rabbit. Take that.
Thumper. Thump. Don't do that. Thank you, Papa.
Take the rabbit. Did you get him?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I can't see a thing of what I'm looking at because it's sun's bright.
But anyway, what happened?
Had cleared off by the gentlemen that were able to come out. And you can even see the road now from this high point where we couldn't see not too long ago.
Already caught two of them. You let him go.
Be careful. Come on. We're down the hill pretty much almost to the road.
John Bailey, December 22nd, 1983. Dead July 4th, 1926.
Walk over here and see the name here. Okay. Now who is this? This is Julia. Is this your first wife?
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead and tell me about her.
That's my mother-in-law.
Okay.
I mean, that's my wife.
Okay. Julia is your wife.
Here's my mother-in-law, Fanny Gray, but see, ain't no marker there. I wouldn't know where she at. How can I tell where she at? That's what I'm after.
Yes. Okay. Is there any other people in this spot here?
That's the only one. This two.
Okay. Is there any other people that you know of in this?
No, that's only two.
Oh, there's only two in there.
That's my mother-in-law and that's my wife.
Okay.
And this was supposed to be two more space, but they stopped burning out here. And
well. Okay.
What I want to get at, when they're going to take all these walls up, I understand. Is that right?
Well, I'm not sure if they're going to take the walls up. We'll have to talk about that and make sure that we keep something intact. Okay?
I understand that all these walls got to be taken up. You know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything about that as far as...
I see. What?
This is the little road that runs up from Kelker Street into the cemetery. And this is the area that they've cleared off here just recently. Looks better than just even a couple of days ago. You can see how far up it goes. Done a lot of clearing. Cleared area up here too where the folks have been able to get...
Your uncle, what home? I see now. Nah, you put it. I know you was pretty good. The Reverend Goodwin, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I forget this
I thought
one.
y'all was next to Reverend Goodwin.
No. Mr. Basie.
Huh?
Mr. Basie, you know, he's next.
This Basie?
Yeah,
I thought he was next to Goodwin.
I think Goodwin's up that way. I'm not sure.
I remember Brant.
Yeah.
He used to be a hairdresser.
Yeah, by that tree, I think.
Yeah.
And Uncle Oscar.
And the next one is your mother.
Yeah.
Outside. Oscar's in here.
Here's my mom right here.
Yeah.
That's my husband right here.
That's her husband.
My husband.
Oh, your husband?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's your husband out there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, But this is your mother?
Yeah, that's my mom.
And that's your husband?
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is Uncle Bill and then Sarah.
Uh-huh. And Oscar. And my
Uncle
grandmother.
Bill and Sarah and Oscar.
Yes,
Well, it
four.
should be four, eh?
It is four of them there.
Well, who? That's Uncle Bill and Aunt Celie,
Sarah
Sarah,
and Uncle Oscar.
and that's right. That's four.
Yeah, four.
And this is
My mom.
That's your mother. I know she's opposite from me. I
Yeah.
remember when she was first. She's opposite. That's your mother.
To honor those who have fallen, laid the foundation for this society in which we enjoy, for the freedom that we have. Quite often it is just taken for granted. We're going to have the posting of the colors at this time by American Legion Post 733. And followed by the posting of the colors, we'll have the national anthem led by Miss Sarah Brown.
How you working?
Came through to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and I'm a little hard on them, aren't I? The Reverend Clyde Roach from is the chaplain of the House of Representatives, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, will provide our invocation. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Oh, gracious God, our Father, who art from everlasting to everlasting, even before the hills in order stood, or earth received her frame. From everlasting thou art God, in endless years the same. O God our Father, we bow at this moment in thankfulness for all of the blessings that you've provided unto us. Even, O God, for the beauty of this day, for Midland Cemetery, which holds so many of our ancestors, O God, who made great and worthy contributions. We thank you, O God, for their lives, and let us also so live that when that day comes, when our summons come to join that caravan that moves to that mysterious realm of death, let us not go like the quarry slave, scourged to his dungeon, but rather soothed and sustained by an unfaltering trust like those who lie in this area. We thank you, O God, for the lives that they live, for their passing to us the torch. It's our duty to hold it high, for Lord, they shall not sleep if we do not keep faith with them. Bless, O God, the leaders of this state, the leaders, O God, of this county and this area. Endow them with vision from on high. Teach us all to number our days, that we might apply our hearts unto wisdom. Thank you, O God, for these thy people whose through dedication and commitment we observe, O God, the renovation and renaissance of this area. We thank you for their steadfastness. Prop them on every leaning side. Give them to know, O God, that the work that they do is precious in your sight. And finally, all of us are accountable only to you, for one day we will join that number who's gone on from labor to reward. Until then, O Lord, bless and keep us, for it's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen. You may be seated.
I was young, but I recall singing songs was mother's joy, and the shadows
gathered at the close of day, and I'd sit upon her knee in those days that used to be, as she sang of God's amazing grace. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Mother was so good and kind. Oh, she told me that I would find not